Hello, my quilty friends. It's Stacy of Stacy Creates Stuff, and today I'm making not one quilt, but two. If you are looking for a quick, easy project that doesn't take a lot of time, but looks fantastic and showcases some fairly large chunks of fabric, then this Tilda quilt is for you. It's a great quilt. And the pattern is free on Tilda's website. I will put the link in the description below. And the kits for the two versions that I am doing will be available online from Vintage Pink and Green, and it will also be available in both of their shops. So which fabrics did I choose? Well, there's this beautiful autumnal colors of the brand new Tilda line called Wallflower. So it has just lovely, lovely fabrics on there. And the other one is using the previous Tilda collection called Sunday Brunch. And so this one just has beautiful, old-timey kind of florals, very grandma core, oh, whatever that is. Whatever those young people say about, they have all those cores. This is like grandma core. So let's get started. What's great about this quilt is that there is one block that has 4 pieces. Now the arrangement of those pieces varies across in 4 different arrangements, but the size of the 4 pieces is the same for each block, and then it's just a matter of how they get arranged. The block has one large rectangle and then 3 smaller rectangles that are all different sizes. And the large rectangle then is sort of the main fabric, and you get 4 of those. So I have chosen 2 of the Wallflower prints, the one in burgundy and the one in thistle. And then I have chosen these 2 prints for the other blocks. Now, the fabric is directional, so you can see that there are faces here for the Wallflower. So the block is going to be cut 9.5 by 6.5, and I want to make sure that I am cutting 2 9.5-inch strips and then cutting my 6.5. So I won't be giving all of the dimensions of all of the rectangles, because the pattern is free on Tilda's website, but you'll need to go ahead and download it from her website. All right, so I'm going to just even up the fabric and cut 2 9.5-inch widths. All right, what do you do when you don't have a ruler that is wide enough? Well, you use 2 rulers. So I have 2 6-inch wide rulers. If you have 2 longer ones, that's fine. Not everybody has 2 longer ones, so a shorter one will work. I try not to make them too small. This one's 12 inches, so that's enough to give me some stability. And so I have 6, 7, 8, 9.5. I'm going to go ahead and line up my small ruler, line up my big ruler, make sure everything is aligned, and then cut my fabric. All right, I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to cut 1 more strip. That is 9.5. Always double check. 6, 7, 8, 9.5. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this fabric and cut my 6.5-inch width. Now, since I need 6.5 inches and I only have a 6-inch wide ruler, I'm going to use my big 12.5-inch square. First thing I'm going to do is cut off the selvage. And I'm going to need a total of 9 of each fabric. Do the same thing. I'm going to trim off the selvage edges. That gives me 8. And then I only need really 1 more, but rather than unfold the fabric, I am just going to go ahead and make 10. So I have one extra of each fabric. That'll be fine. Just going to set those aside. For the smallest rectangle, I have chosen these blender prints that are part of the Wallflower collection. And from these, I am going to cut 2 strips. This pattern is really not directional, and these rectangles are going to be vertical this way, and that will be just fine. I don't have to worry about this fabric. Again, I am cutting all 4 fabrics doubled over together, but you do not have to. As a matter of fact, I would probably not recommend cutting them all together. All right, those are cut. A little easier to see against the green. And let's get on to the next set. This rectangular set is the long skinny rectangle. It's not any skinnier than the last set that we cut, but it is longer. So I'm going to, again, cut 2 strips. These fabrics are also not directional, so it really doesn't matter how I cut those. I'm actually contemplating cutting, since it's not directional, rather than have the strip go this way, I could have the strip go this way. Let's do that. Then I like to cut 1 strip and I just cut that down. So I need to cut this strip this wide. And again, I don't have handy my 8.5-inch ruler, which would be useful, but not everyone has an 8.5 or a larger ruler. Width-wise, that's still long. So again, you can use the 2 rulers. And in this case, I'm cutting an 8-inch strip. All right, I'm going to trim off the selvages and cut my 9. But, you know, I've been cutting 10, so I don't have to unfold and reposition the fabric. It's just faster. I'm going to re-square that edge. And these fabrics are all the same print, just in different colors. One last set of fabric. This I am using 2 different prints in 2 different colorways of each. So I have the floral print, which is directional, and this rectangle will be horizontal. And then this print, which really isn't directional, so it's going to be kind of along for the ride. It'll be fine. I'm going to put my directional print on top so that I can be assured that I am cutting my rectangle in the right orientation. You guessed it, trim off the selvages, cut the rectangles. And that, my friends, are all the pieces. And that took me probably 10 or 15 minutes to cut all those pieces. And that included lining up the fabric and, you know, going from there. So let's put or lay out some of these blocks so you can see how they will go. So I have the main print for the green block, using that term loosely there. And that will have these flowers below it. These will get sewn together. On the side, we'll have these green flowers, and then this little print up here. So these 2 pieces go together, these 2 pieces, and then this forms the block. All these blocks will be in the same orientation. That's all the green blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and line up all of my green fabrics. Remember, there's 9 blocks in total. I happened to cut 10 because I was too lazy to unfold my fabric to only get that 9th one out. But I'm just remembering that I won't need that. Or I can make a cute little pillow to go with. Actually, I think I might sort of make a little mini quilt with that, since these are going to be samples for Vintage Pink and Green, and they have 2 shops, but they're each getting one of the colorways, and then the mini quilt can be for the shop that doesn't get the big quilt. Does that make sense? I am making sure on any of the fabrics that are directional that I have them oriented in the correct direction So when I go to sew them, I don't really have to think so hard. Okay, that is all of the green blocks. Before I get too far, I'm going to go ahead and put these on a design board because it'll be way easier to bring these over to my sewing machine that way. All right, that is the first block. All right, the second block is with the red Wallflower, and in that one, the large piece goes down here. So I'm going to put all those there. And these are directional as well. I want to make sure that the little faces are not upside down. Then above that will be this print. Let's slide those up so we don't get too confused here. That's going to go there. It's not directional. We have the flowers here and the little burgundy print down there. So I will fill in all the rest of those fabrics. All right, our third block is going to be the Thistle colorway. So we have Wallflowers. We have this floral. I don't think it really matters which direction that goes in. Our long rectangle. And we'll finish it off with the purple and orange flowers up there. And then the very last colorway is the blue one. So we have our large rectangle here. We have our flowers that go there. Our long flowers are in that position and the blue flowers there. All right, let's go sew these blocks together. I have sewn the 4 individual blocks together. We have the green, the red, the blue, and the Thistle. And those get sewn together into one large block. So 2 rows of 2. And you will make 9 of these very large blocks. And then you sew them together in 3 in a row, 3 rows, and you have your finished quilt. One down, one more to go. I'm repeating the entire process with the fabrics from the Sunday Brunch collection. And just like the Wallflower collection, those larger rectangles have directional prints. All of the other prints, though, really aren't directional, so they can go however. And I did cut them in the same way that I cut the ones for the Wallflower. I made each of the 4 smaller blocks and put them together into the large block. And when I had 9 large blocks, I sewed them together 3 rows of 3 blocks each. And here is the final result. Now, it did take me a little more than a day to make both quilts, but mostly because life happens. You could absolutely make both quilt tops in one day if nobody interrupts you. I love this quilt because it is a great way to showcase some larger pieces of fabric. And it goes together very, very quickly. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you've not already subscribed. It is free. And I look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, check out this.